Let me tell you a story you will recognize. A brand is pushing for savings. Operations is pushing for speed. Sustainability is pushing for waste reduction. And packaging is sitting somewhere in the middle, getting blamed for everything. Because packaging is one of those areas where small decisions create a massive ripple effect. A material that looks good on paper but runs inconsistently. A design that wins awards. A spec that's too tight and burns time in every setup. The phrase I keep coming back to is packaging efficiency. Not one big redesign, small changes that stack into real throughput, real cost reduction, and real sustainability gains, all at once. Today, I want to focus on 3 areas where I see the biggest impact for brands. Point number 1, material selection is your highest leverage decision. Most brands choose packaging materials based on, I would say, 2 things: cost and appearance. But that's half the equation. The missing variable is runnability. How consistently a material performs in print production. A material that looks identical on a spec sheet can behave completely differently on a packaging line. One runs clean, the other causes web breaks, stoppages, scrap, and those "why is this happening today" moments that cost hours. Here's why this matters to you as a brand. Every material-related stoppage is time. Time throughput. Throughput is cost per unit. When your material runs consistently, your cost per unit drops without changing a single design element. The practical question to ask your packaging supplier: what is the runnability profile of this material I chose? Not just the price and the look. If they can't answer that question clearly, you're optimizing with incomplete data. Well, I've seen a brand switch to a marginally more expensive substrate that reduced the downtime and net cost went down. Imagine switching to a material that costs 3% more but reduces your downtime by 15%. That's not a cost increase, that's a margin improvement for both as a printer and as a brand owner. Point number 2, design decisions that the consumer never sees, but the factory always feels. This is not about making packaging plain. It's about removing invisible friction from production. There are design decisions that have 0 impact on the shelf appeal, but massive impact on production speed. Die lines that cut and fold cleanly versus ones that mess up and misalign. Layouts that maximize material usage versus ones that waste 10 to 15% of every sheet. Structures that maintain strengths with fewer components versus over-engineered designs with unnecessary layers. The consumer never notices these details. Your production cost always does. And here's the strategic angle most brands miss. Every unnecessary layer, insert, or component is not just a material cost, it's a process that can fail. Fewer layers mean faster assembly, simpler structures means simpler sourcing, less complexity means less that can go wrong. This is where sustainability and efficiency stop being 2 different conversations. The question to ask: is every element of this packaging necessary for the customer experience? Or are we carrying complexity that only costs us money and time? Point number 3, match your production workflow to your SKU reality. Here's the one most brands don't think about until it's too late. Your SKU portfolio has probably grown, more versions, more regions, more seasonals, more limited editions. That's a market reality. But your packaging production workflow might still be built for a world where you ran the same number of SKUs in long, stable runs. When your portfolio changes faster than your production process can handle, every changeover becomes a bottleneck. Setup time eats into output, short runs become unproportionally expensive, and your team spends more time switching than producing. The strategic question is not which technology should we use? The strategic question is our packaging production workflow designed for the portfolio we actually run today, or the one that we ran 5 years ago? If your answer is the latter, you're paying an invisible tax on every product launch, every seasonal variation, every regional adaptation. This is a conversation to have with your packaging partners before your next portfolio review, not after. So here's how I would start if I were in your position. Pick one SKU, pick one packaging format, and ask one question. Where are we losing time, waste, or money? Because this packaging is harder to produce than it needs to be. Then fix one thing, measure the impact, and repeat. Because packaging efficiency isn't a project, it's a mindset. And small changes compound faster than most brands expect.